Hello, grade 9 students. This is part 2 of our discussion on rational exponents. So let us first have a warm up. Simplify each expression. Number 1, square root of 36. What's your answer? 6. Yes, 6 because 6 times 6 is 36. How about the fifth root of 0? What's your answer? 0. Number 3, what is the cube root of 64? 4 because 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. How about the fourth root of 1? 1. How about the fifth root of 100,000? 10. And how about the negative cube root of 27? Negative 3. Okay. So for the objective, evaluate and simplify expressions containing rational exponents. And for the vocabulary, we have the index. What is an index? Okay, recall that the radical symbol square root, here. Okay, this is the radical symbol which is used to indicate roots. So pwedeng square root, cube root, fourth root, fifth root, etc. The index is the small number to the left of the radical symbol that tells which root to take. For example, we have here in the symbol, it represents a cubic root. Since 2 cube is 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8, so cube root of 8 is equal to 2. Another way to write nth roots is by using fractional exponents. For example, for b is greater than 1, suppose square root of b is equal to b raised to k. Square root of b equals b raised to k. So if we're going to square both sides, okay, power of a property. So b raised to 1 is equal to b raised to 2k. Now if b raised to m is equal to b raised to n, then m equals n. So 1 is equal to 2k. Then divide both sides by 2, therefore k is equal to 1 half. So therefore, ibig sabihin, square root of b is equal to b raised to 1 half. Okay? So basta pag square root, the exponent is 1 half. Pag cube root, the exponent is 1/3. Okay, ganun lang. Helpful hint, when b equals 0, nth root of b equals 0. When b equals 1, nth root of b equals 1. Yes. Definition of b raised to 1 over n. A number raised to the power of 1 over n is equal to the nth root of that number. So if we have 3 raised to 1 half, it's equivalent to square root of 3. If we have 5 raised to 1/4, it's equivalent to 4th root of 5. If we have 2 raised to 1 over 7, it's equal to the 7th root of 2. So if b is greater than 1 and n is an integer where n is greater than or equal to 2, then b raised to 1 over n is equal to nth root of b. So b raised to 1 half is square root of b raised to 1/3 is cube root of b raised to 1/4 is the fourth root of b, and so on and so forth. Okay, let us have here some examples. Simplify each expression. Simplifying b raised to 1 over n. So what is a? 343 raised to 1/3. Okay, use the definition of b raised to 1 over n. So it's equivalent to cube root of 343. Right? If the exponent is 1/3, it means the cube root of that number, and which is equal to 7, because 7 times 7 times 7 is 343. Right? How about this? 32 raised to 1/5 plus 9 raised to 1 half. Okay, use the definition of b raised to 1 over n. 32 raised to 1/5 means the fifth root of 32. 9 raised to 1 half means the square root of 9. And that's equivalent to 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. Yes, the fifth root of 32 is 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32. And the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So that's the answer for letter B, 5. Simplify each expression. For a, 81 raised to 1/4. It means the fourth root of 81, which is equal to 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. Okay. How about letter B? 121 raised to 1 half plus 256 raised to 1/4. It means square root of 121 plus the fourth root of 256. Okay, what is the square root of 121? That's equivalent to 11 because 11 times 11 is 121. How about the fourth root of 256? 4. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is 256. So 11 plus 4 is equal to 15. Okay, can you follow? So a fractional exponent can have a numerator other than 1, as in the expression b raised to 2/3. So you can write the exponent as a product in two different ways. So we can write here b raised to 2/3 equal to b raised to 1/3 times 2, or b raised to 2/3 equal to b squared raised to 1/3. Okay, it's just the same. It's power of a power property. So b raised to 2/3 can be written as b raised to 1/3 quantity b raised to 1/3 squared, or can be written as b squared quantity b squared raised to 1/3. And by definition of b raised to 1 over n, okay, b raised to 1/3 is cube root of b raised to cube root of b squared, and here cube root, wait, yes, bale cube root of b squared dito. So yes, it's just the same, pareho lang yan. So definition of b raised to m over n: a number raised to the power of m over n is equal to the nth root of the number raised to the mth power. Example, 8 raised to 2/3 means cube root of 8 quantity squared is equal to, what's the cube root of 8? 2. 2 squared is 4. Okay, can be written also to as 8 raised to 2/3 equals cube root of 8 squared inside the radicand, inside the radical sign. And cube root 8 squared is 64, so cube root of 64 is still 4. So we just obtained the same answer. So whichever you will write it, we will get the same answer. So if b is greater than 1 and m and n are integers where m is greater than or equal to 1 and n is greater than or equal to 2, then b raised to m over n is equal to nth root of b raised to m is equal to nth root of b raised to m. It's just the same. Equal. Okay, let us simplify the following expressions with fractional exponents. What is 81 raised to 5 over 4? Okay, in letter A, it's equal to fourth root of 81 raised to 5. In letter B, we have fifth root of 3125 squared. Okay, that's the definition of b raised to m over n. So what is the fourth root of 81 inside the parenthesis? That's equal to 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. And then here, what is the fifth root of 3125? 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 3125. 5 squared. So let us now simplify. What is 3 raised to the fifth power? 243, while 5 squared is 5 times 5, 25. That's the answer for A and B. Another 16 raised to 3/4 and 1 raised to 3/5 can be written as, in letter A, fourth root of 16 cube. Tapos ito naman 1 raised to 3/5 means the fifth root of 1 cube. Now inside the parenthesis, what's the fourth root of 16? That's equal to 2. 2 cube. Ito naman, what's the fifth root of 1? That's 1 cube. So what is 2 cube? 8, and what is 1 cube? 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Okay. Another letter C, 27 raised to 4/3 means, okay, yung 3 is yan yung index. 27 can be the exponent of 27, or can be written as cube root of 27 raised to the 4th power. So inside the parenthesis, that's the definition of b raised to m over n. Inside the parenthesis, what's the cube root of 27? That's 3 raised to the 4th power. And what is 3 raised to the 4th power? 81. 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times 3, 81. Okay, for our application, given a cube with surface area S, the volume of the cube can be found by using the formula Okay, s over 6 raised to 3 halves. Find the volume of a cube with surface area 54 square meters. Okay, if the surface area of that cube is 54 square meters, then we're going to substitute s by 54 in the formula here, because the formula for the volume of a cube is surface area of that cube divided by 6 raised to 3 halves. So since the surface area of the cube is 54 square meters, substitute it by 54 divided by 6 raised to 3 halves. So simplify inside the parentheses, 9 raised to 3 halves. And what is 9 raised to 3 halves? Definition of b raised to m, that means the square root of 9 cube. Okay, always yung denominator sa fractional exponent, that's the index, then 3 is the exponent. So square root of 9, and usually we do not write any more 2. Index 2, which means square root, and we do not write it anymore. But just for emphasis, we write number 2 as the index. Okay, what is the square root of 9? That's 3 cube. So 3 cube is equal to 27. Is the volume of the cube when the surface area is 54 square meter. So the volume is 27 cubic meters. Yes. Another, the approximate number of calories C that an animal needs each day is given by C is equal to 72 m raised to 3 fourths, where m is the animal's mass in kilograms. Find the number of calories that an 81 kilogram panda needs each day. So the formula is, for the calorie, 72 m raised to 3 fourths. Okay, how many number of calories that an 81 kilogram panda needs each day? So substitute natin yung m by 81. So 72 times quantity 81 raised to 3 fourths. So by definition of b raised to m, 81 raised to 3 fourths will become 4th root of 81 cube. So 72 times the 4th root of 81's quantity cube. So first, inside the parentheses, what's the 4th root of 81? That's equal to 3 cube. So what is 72 times 3 cube? And what is 3 cube, by the way? 27. So 72 times 27 is 1944. So the panda needs 1944 calories per day to maintain health. Remember that the radical sign always indicates a non-negative square root. When you simplify variable expressions that contain radical signs such as square root of x squared, the answer cannot be negative, but x may be negative. Therefore, you simplify square root of x squared as absolute value of x to ensure that the answer is non-negative. So we have here the table. When x is positive and n is even, and x raised to n is positive, and nth root of x raised to n is positive. When x is negative and n is even, x raised to n is positive, and nth root of x raised to n is positive. When x is positive and n is odd, x raised to n is positive, and nth root of x raised to n is positive. But when x is negative and n is odd, x raised to n is negative, and nth root of x raised to n is negative. So when n is even, you must simplify nth root of x raised to n to the absolute value of x, because you do not know whether x is positive or negative. When n is odd, simplify nth root of x raised to n to x. So helpful hint, when you are told that all variables represent non-negative numbers, you do not need to use absolute values in your answer. Sample. Simplify. All variables represent non-negative numbers. 4th root of a to the 4th b raised to 20. So by definition of b raised to 1 over n, this can be written as a to the 4th b raised to 20 raised to 1/4. So since the index is 4, this means that the exponent is 1/4. The exponent of the radicand a to the 4th b to 20 is 1/4. Then by power of a product property, we're going to multiply the exponents to 1/4. 4th root of 1/4 is 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 exponents of a and b. So a to the fourth raised to 1/4, b to the 20 raised to 1/4. And then you multiply now the exponents here, because power to power law, power to power law, multiply the exponents. Yes, power property. So for a, multiply 4 by 1/4. For b, multiply 20 by 1/4. So for a, the exponent is 1. And for b, the exponent is 5. So simplify. The answer is ab to the p power. A times b to the p power. Yun yung answer. Another, simplify. All variables represent non-negative numbers. X to the 6, y to the 4th raised to 1/2 times the square root of y squared. Square root of y squared is y, because y times y is y squared, diba? So we can now write this as x to the 6, y to the 4th raised to 1/2 times y. Okay, power of product property. Let's multiply 1/2 by 6 and 4, the exponents. So what is 6 times 1/2? 3. 4 times 1/2 is 2. So it becomes x cubed y squared times y. Then by product property, y squared times y, they have the same base, so other exponents, so it becomes y cubed. Yun, y cubed. X cubed y cubed is the final answer for the example 4b. X cubed y cubed. Okay, next, simplify. All variables represent non-negative numbers. 4th root of x to the 4th, y to the 12 can be written as x to the 4th, y to the 12 raised to quantity raised to 1/4. Yon, okay. Multiply the exponents. Simplify. Xy cubed. All variables. Alright. Okay, another. Parang ganito rin yung sinob natin kanina. So still the answer is xy cubed. Pareho yung xy cubed. Alright, nasolve na natin yan. Let's proceed to the next. All variables represent non-negative numbers. Simplify. X, y raised to 1/2 quantity squared all over pip root of x to the pip. So in the denominator, pip root of x to the pip means x. Okay, power of product property, and okay, I think this is one of the laws of radicals. We just cancel 5 and 5, so x. Then remove the radical sign. Pip root of x to the pip is equal to x. Kasi ano yan, ibig sabihin x raised to 5 over 5, meaning x raised to 1, which is x. Dito naman, power of product property, magiging x squared y. Multiply their exponents. Yes, x squared y over x. X squared y over x, then by the quotient rule, okay, x squared divided by x means you're going to subtract your exponent. So the final answer is xy. Yes, 2 minus 1 is 1, so x raised to 1 is x. xy is the final answer. Okay, for your quiz, part 1. Simplify each expression. Number 116 raised to 1/4. What's your answer? 2. Yes. That means 4th root of 16 is 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. How about number 2? 144 raised to 1/2 minus 27 raised to 1/3. That means the square root of 144 minus the cube root of 27. And square root of 144 is 12. Cube root of 27 is 3. 12 minus 3, 9. How about this? 81 raised to 3/2. Okay. 81 can be written as 9 squared. 9 squared raised to 3/2 means you multiply the exponents. 2 times 3/2, 3. So, what? 9 raised to 3 is 729. 9 times 9 times 9. How about number 4? 64 raised to 7 over 6. Okay. 64 means 2 raised to the 6th power. So, 2 raised to the 6th power raised to 7 over 6. It means you multiply 6 by 7 over 6, that is 7. So what is 2 raised to 7? 128. So for your part 2 quiz, answer this. In an experiment, the approximate population P of a bacteria colony is given by P equals 15 T raised to 5 of 5/3, where it is the number of days since start of experiment. Find the population of the colony on the 8th day. The answer is 480. I need your solution. Simplify. All variables represent non-negative numbers. For number 6, fifth root of x to the 10th, z to the fifth power. Okay, for the shortcut, we just divide the exponent by 10 by 5, x squared, 5 divided by 5, 1, so z. So x squared z. Dito, a to the fourth b raised to 1/4 raised to another power 4. So magiging ab. A to the 16th b. A to the 16th b. Tapos times b. This is b. B times b is b squared. A to the 16th b squared. So that ends our lesson on rational exponents and radical expressions. Okay, I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.